Mountain coasters are one of those weird things that seem to be a Smoky Mountain favorite, but are they for everyone? And are they safe? Let's take a look at mountain coasters in the Smoky Mountains and learn more about them. Welcome to Bear Facts, where we explore the Smoky Mountains one bear fact at a time. All right, so until I started going to the Smoky Mountains, I'd actually never heard of a mountain coaster before. Ironically, after I started doing my research on this, I discovered that there actually is some in our area. I had just never seen it because it's not an area I go to. And other of you who are watching this video might also be wondering the same thing. What are mountain coasters? So this video, we're going to kind of look at what they are and kind of give you a clue as to how they operate. And most importantly, help you decide if this is something you'd like to try yourself. First thing first, unless you live in a mountain town or visited one or been to a ski resort area, you probably have never seen one because mountain coasters require, well, mountains to work. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and describe it a little bit. If you are looking at a mountain coaster, they are basically a steel ride that uses gravity to propel the riders down the track. So once again, in order to get some good momentum, you need a big hill, i.e. a mountainside. If there are plenty of places that have steep inclines and wide open spaces, such as a mountain town, you're more likely to find them. Most mountain coasters are designed to utilize the centripetal force to give the rider a more thrilling experience as you're propelled down the mountainside. They use a lot of circles and looping turns to give the feeling of speed, even though you really aren't going that fast. Most coasters max out at 30 to, and on rare occasion, 40 miles an hour, depending on many variables. Two factors that play a major role in how fast the coaster goes are obviously the incline level of the mountain and the braking system. There are other factors that play a pretty good role, but most of those are not as big as those two. The very first mountain coasters were developed by Germany in the 1990s, and those first mountain coasters were inspired by the alpine sleds, which operate like giant toboggans. The goal being to utilize the topography of the mountain areas to create a year-long experience for guests. Uber Mountain in Gatlinburg actually has one of those toboggan-style sled rides still available for guests to use. And guests are taken to the top of those rides and put on a sled. Gravity does all the work and you don't need ice to help you get moving. It makes sense if you're a mountain town, you want a guest coming year-round. So they were looking for activities and things for people that they can do when there's no snow on the ground. Gatlinburg has become inundated with mountain coasters. There seems to be a mountain coaster on every mountainside anymore. It doesn't hurt that the area is one giant mountain, but the popularity of the rides has helped with the boom. If you've never been on one, let me explain how it works. Most mountain coaster rides last only about 8 to 10 minutes. It's kind of like, you go on this big roller coaster and it dropped you. It's like 10-second rides. But depending on the size of the track and how fast or slow you go, you actually get a really nice experience because unlike most thrill rides, mountain coasters allow you to go to the top of the mountain slowly and you can enjoy the views. Some tracks are designed to be more specific and give you that view of the Smoky Mountain regions, and some are designed for the thrill of the ride. Ultimately, though, most people are not going on a mountain coaster to enjoy the view, although there are some really good ones up there since you are slowly taken to the top. What most people want is that long, looping, spinny, swirling kind of experience you get on a mountain coaster. And one thing I do like about mountain coasters is they don't have big dips. That's not that kind of experience. You're in for it for the actual speed that you get. The longer the coaster is, the more speed or momentum you're going to get. An example might be the Smoky Mountain Alpine Coaster in Pigeon, which is 5,280 feet long. You do have a long track to get to the top of the mountain, but once it lets you go, you get to go pretty fast. And the coaster takes about 10 minutes. the average time for most of these coasters does vary a lot, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Mountain coasters are very basic setups. When you go to a mountain coaster, you will be given the option usually to sit either in a single or tandem seating cart. Traditionally, most adults like to sit alone, but if you want to share a cart with someone, they have that option. They do have a weight limit for tandem riders and single riders. Usually, the roller coaster company requires a child of a certain height to ride with an adult. And as I have pointed out, there is a weight limit. Online, it says that they are topped usually at 350 to 400 pounds for riders. But those limits are for guests who are sharing a cart as well. The seats in these carts are quite narrow and would be very uncomfortable for many people who might be at those weights. If you are concerned about being able to comfortably fit in the cart, most of the mountain coasters have a model in front that you can try before going on. Now, these rides are not for everyone. Not only is there the physicality of being able to fit into the seat, but there's the additional issue of being able to get down to the cart and then get off of it again. The carts are basically at ground level, which means you have to get down and low and basically crawl on the ground to get into one. Now, for most people, that's actually the easy part. Where it can be challenging is getting back up again. Now, if you're a young, spry kid, this is easy. You just stand up. What's the big deal? But if you're like me, a little older, with a bad knee or hip, well, good luck with that. The park attendant will certainly try and help you, but who wants to ask an 18-year-old to help you stand? It's embarrassing. And with the moving lines all around you and people wanting to get you off quickly, there's the pressure you feel that you have to get out quickly. I'm not trying to dissuade you from going on the ride. Heck no. But some people might find that uncomfortable, or it might not be something they thought of beforehand. Just be aware that the carts can be a little challenging to get out of. And if you have limited mobility, maybe talk with a park attendant and see if this is even a ride you should even consider. Another thing to consider, though this is a very minor thing that many people might not think about, is that the seats on some of these rides are designed for people with natural padding on their behind. Yeah, these rides are rough on your backside. If you have plenty of padding around your tailbone, you're good to go. But because of how you're cradled in the ride, your tailbone gets the brunt of the pressure. Nothing that you can't live with for like an entire 8-minute ride, but it's something to consider. Now, once you're strapped in, and yes, you do have to buckle in, and ready to go, it's all uphill from there. And I mean that literally. The mountain coaster will take you to the top of the mountain using an automated pulley system. So you don't have to actually walk to the top of the mountain. This is the part of the ride that takes the longest. And you also get those great views as you're being slowly ticked up to the top of that mountain. But once you reach the top and are given the green light, you can just let loose. Now, let me amend that statement. You will have to press down. You don't actually let loose. You actually have all the control when it comes to a mountain coaster. You see, one of the best parts of the mountain coaster is that the rider has the control of the speed that their cart is going. Yep, you get to decide if you're going to max out the ride or take it nice and easy. You see, the coasters are designed to have a braking system that the rider is in control of. The braking system usually involves a lever that you need to hold down on during the entire ride. If you let up on the brakes, the cart will slow down. This is a safety feature that forces the rider to be actively engaged. Taking photographs and other distractions are not on the table. If you're not pressing down on the brakes at all times, the cart stops. Once you're on the descent, it will feel like you're going 100 miles an hour. The better designed tracks really get you moving. But if you don't want to go that fast, just let off on the handles and your cart will slow down. The attendants are monitoring the rides and won't let people on the track until it's safe for the next rider. So feel free to take it at your own pace. It's also because of the variable speeds that the lines for these rides being quite long, and it's also not sure how long the ride's going to last. It could take a lot longer for some folks, and others, they just want to go fast. I won't go into detail about different mountain coasters in this video. I plan on putting another video together that will talk about some of the larger mountain coasters in the area, but I do want to point out a few of the more popular ones. The most popular ones are usually the longest. So you have the Alpine Mountain Coaster and Rocky Top Mountain Coasters that are the longest in the Smoky Mountain area. Both of those average almost a mile long. And like I said, they're very popular. For either place, the prices of the ride average about $18 per ride, but there's usually discounts or other things that you can do if you look online like Groupon. We've gotten coupons before with them that's saved us a ton of money. And like I said, these places are very popular with teens and adults who are looking for a thrill. But while Alpine and Rocky Tops are great rides and their mountain coasters are true kings of the mountains, they don't have much else to offer guests. This might be just fine if you're excited about mountain coasters and that's all you want to do. But if you're with a group of people with a variety of interests, it might not be the best fit. Go on the Roof is an excellent attraction that has things for the entire family. They have also a very nice long track, which is 4,900 feet of steel mountain coaster for the thrill seekers in the family. But for those of you who aren't a fan of the ride, they also have a really great dinosaur-themed miniature golf center, live goats, a really good gift shop, and food for the rest of the family. Pigeon Forge really does have most of the really big mountain coasters, but Gatlinburg is slowly beginning to build up their portfolio, I guess, of mountain coasters. So if you're in the Gatlinburg area, there's a couple that you should consider. Uber Gatlinburg has a 2,700 foot long one up on their mountain hill. Anakista has two rides. The Rail Runner is 1,600 feet long and Hellbender is 3,300 feet long, give or take a foot. Both are additional fees on top of the Anakista admission. Ripley's also has a coaster next to the Moonshine Mountain Coaster. Both are on the smaller side, but are great for people who want to try a mountain coaster for their first time. Now, one last thing I want to make sure you know. Before getting on any of these rides, you will be required to sign a waiver. Because yes, these rides do come with a risk. Though small as it might be, there have been incidents of riders who have fallen off and gotten injured. Thankfully, it seems that most people suffer broken wrists or a minor head injury. But these coasters are actually far safer than the real coasters that you have in amusement parks. There are fewer incidents than most other rides out there. But they do malfunction and things just happen. It's the nature of the beast. All in all, mountain coasters can be fun, family-friendly activities that most people can really enjoy. But more than that, they're a pretty unique thing to experience if you're in the Smoky Mountains. I would consider them a true Smoky Mountain classic in some ways. I hope this video helps you learn more about the Smoky Mountains or helps you plan for your own next trip. You're getting an honest review from our personal experiences, but facts and things change, so please keep us in the loop if you learn anything new and want to share your experiences in the comments. Thanks again for visiting us at Bare Facts of the Smoky Mountains. Please click that like button and subscribe to our channel.